day, we wake up to see the sun rise with endless possibilities. Life seems to get easier and better as we learn to harness the various energy resources in the earth. The sun contains an enormous amount of energy and radiates more solar energy per day than the world utilizes in a year. Solar appears to be a promising remedy for cutting down the cost of power once the solar energy is harnessed. Is it possible to take advantage of solar energy to better our electrical demands? Is this for people of all status? Welcome to Energy Quest. Welcome to Energy Quest. Today, we get an understanding of alternative power sources. How can we reduce our expense on electricity? We are at SUKA Power Limited. And with us here is the founder, Alhaji Abdul Raj. Yes. Welcome to Energy Quest.
Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome to our offices.
Thank you so much. So, Alhaji, we want to have an understanding of SUKA and know what you're into and how the business came about.
So, thank you very much, Leslie. As I said, my name is Abdul Raj, the Managing Director of SUKA Power Limited in Ghana.
Okay.
The company originally began in Germany, where I studied engineering there.
Okay.
And then I moved to UK. I didn't start it in Germany. It was someone else who ran it. So when I moved to UK from Germany in 2003,
okay,
I set it up in Germany, in the UK as a SUKA Solar Limited. And we did a lot of business, huge installations. I continued to do my studies. I know we'll talk about that. A few years later, I think 2009, I came to Ghana and registered the company.
Okay.
With the intention of bringing the know-how that I acquired in Germany and in UK to Ghana. And my main intention was to get as many people trained in the business of solar as possible so that we can diffuse it as faster as possible. So processes led to us acquiring a space, initially at McCarthy Hills and then finally or later here.
Okay.
Now, so the business of SUKA is supplying and installing solar energy equipment. We say renewable energy, which includes wind. You might have seen some out there. But there are not a lot of places in Ghana that you can actually attract wind very much. So we scaled down our efforts in that. We did do some wind energy business in the past, but we scaled down on that to concentrate on the solar energy. Okay. So that's the business we are in. So from the generation side, we design, supply, install, and then there is consumption side, which we call the appliances, the load. So you would find we have some energy fans, energy fridges, LED lights, and other things to help people. If we're giving you something to generate power, we also want you to use it efficiently. Okay. So that is, in a nutshell, what SUKA Power Limited is about.
Okay. So you are a trained engineer?
Yes.
Okay. What exactly is your profession?
So there is the former East Germany. There's a university there that I went to train in renewable energy engineering. It's a polytechnic university or polytechnic college. Okay. But when I left Ghana, I was an accountant.
Oh, wow. So how did you veer into engineering then?
It's a passion. In Germany, there's a very strong green movement. They even came to power, Gerhard Schröder and Joschka Fischer. So that's strong green movement. I found myself getting involved in green activism when I was in Germany. Okay. And it happens that my father-in-law then had in his house solar power systems that gave him hot water throughout. I was quite intrigued about that. And you know, one thing leads to the other. And I began getting interested in it, and then eventually I took out that study. So I completed the engineering degree from, they call it Fachhochschule Jena, that is like Polytechnic College of Jena.
Okay.
And then after that, I began to be a practitioner until I later went to the UK, where I also did a master's degree in renewable energy and environmental science. So from accountant to engineer,
to be an engineer.
Yeah.
No, that's a good one. I mean, the confidence to even veer from what you know to whatever new field. I think that's a good one.
It's a passion. If you identify something for which you are passionate about, then the rest about achieving it is only the 20%. The identification and the desire is the 80%.
And have the drive for it.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So how long has SUKA operated fully in Ghana only?
So SUKA has been fully operational in Ghana since 2013. You know, when we actually began shipping things into the country. Before that, after registration in 2009, we were still exploring the market and looking at, you know, what others are doing, what niche can we occupy. So when we established that and also found the, you know, the gap in the knowledge, so we decided that, first of all, you know, diffusing solar requires training and knowledge sharing. So we thought we will occupy that bit, but also have the equipment to supply. And so we bring our equipment from outside the country most of the time. And so from 2009, it was just a few steps after the other until 2013, when we actually started bringing container loads of equipment, you know, into the country. Yes.
And how has the patronage of solar been in Ghana? Are lots of people interested? Are people using solar?
People use solar. I would give them credit for that. Awareness is still very low, very, very low. But because we are in a globalized kind of world right now, you know, you can get a lot of information on your phone. Yeah. So people are beginning to get an understanding about what solar does and what it could do to help people. So the fact that from 2013, when we began, we are still in business, and we have employed more people since then, is only to answer your question by saying that things are looking well. Things are going well. So the patronage is good. You know, gradually people are, there are projects that they bring to me and I say, no, this is far too big for me. I'm not going to do it. I'll refer to somebody else. So there are things like that.
Okay, so now if I want to reduce my expense on electricity in my home, you have ACs consuming, you have generators, you have, I mean, it's one of those things that everybody wants a solution to. But because we do not have knowledge, because there's so much ignorance on the whole renewable energy thing, sometimes you stay in it and then continue to spend So can you educate us how best we can take advantage of solar?
This is a very good question. You see, in this place, we receive different types of people. Oh, Alaji, I'm building my house in Ofanko, and it is going to be 10-bedroom house, and there will be 14 air conditions. I want you to specify solar for me. Meanwhile, I'm doing the roof A-frame. You know, there won't be any space to put 2 solar panels. But I want to power all the 14 air conditions. So that is where demystification of that industry is required. And so solar energy system is a modular thing. It's not like if you want to go to buy a 20 kVA generator, you're buying a 20 kVA generator. That's it. Even if you are using half the capacity in the house, that's it. But solar is something you can actually start small.
Upgrade.
You know, and continue and continue and continue. Add up, So how do we save energy? As you ask, if you have an AC and all those kind of things, the question I throw back to customers mostly is there's something called the Maslow hierarchy of needs. As we sit here, when the power is taken. Luckily, we are run by solar in this company.
Fully?
Yes, we have a 10 kilowatt solar panel system on our roof.
Wow.
But if we didn't have it and relied exclusively on the grid,
yeah,
and the power gets taken away, and all this place gets dark, our primary concern will be light.
Yeah.
How do we...
That's the first thing.
Exactly. So after the light, then you can look at other luxuries. Maybe it is warm, a fan, or maybe you're thirsty, a cooler, or maybe you want entertainment, a TV. You know, so if we're trying to educate customers or you know, inform customers to understand it that way, if we approach solar in that modular fashion, then we will save a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of it as basic as you can.
Exactly. Yeah. So that way we save a lot of money, and we don't even need to make a big investment in that.
Yeah.
You know, someone will come. I mean, our average quotations for many people is about 25,000, 30,000, but people can actually have solar systems for far less than half that, if they're only willing to accept our advice and start small. Small. Yeah. You know, I'm not saying they shouldn't come and give us the money. Obviously, we need it.
You're in business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after the population census in Ghana, we're told we have how many housing in Ghana? About, what, 19, 20 million? I can't remember. And if each household will have just 2 panels, to just let them have lights, and that way to be supplied by 10 of us, we'll all be multimillionaires. You see that, you know? Yeah. So we don't have to have that big ticket invoices to do something. So, and that is how I see solar becoming fully becoming made available more to people in Ghana. Everybody. You know, affordable, accessible. That is how I see it. And when you talk, of course, that's also how I see people can save money on it. Because A, you don't have to put a lot of money investing in it. B, you can also cut down on whatever amount of power you were taking from ECG to power the lights. Yeah. Now you can take that aspect out using solar to power it. Yeah, so I can start by saying, I want all my bulbs and all that to be on solar. Precisely. Over time, you get more panels, and then you say, okay, let me put my deep freezer on, or let me put the ACs. Exactly. And you build it gradually. Yeah. And for those who are building new homes, there's even a better way to do it. Because electricity can come in 2 forms. Alternating current, which means the power is coming through maybe a kind of a generator, and it's alternating AC. And then there is direct current. It is straight. The sunlight hits the panel and you get a power straight. So, and the DC is very strong and very cheap. Yeah. So, and that is what solar is about. So, for those who are building, yes, they should do their wiring with their AC, the alternating current, to power whatever appliances they have somewhere and bring them back to the place. But they can also have a parallel wiring for direct current, which means they can do away with inverters. They would just do solar to a charge controller, to a battery, to the system. That makes it even more cheaper, far more cheaper than even the other option. It also makes it more efficient and longer lasting. Oh, you know, so we have often talked to people about, you know, why don't you do DC? Because there are DC appliances now, DC fridge, DC fan, there are DC... You sell all that? Yeah, we have DC LED lights at the moment. Okay, so DC is the direct connection. Direct current. Okay, then the AC refers to the alternative one. Yeah. Okay. So generally, from the grid, you get alternating current, AC one you use. Yeah. So you can have it, but have a parallel thing, because if you live in an urban area, you can't say that you won't do with grid. Of course. You know, it comes to your house anyway. Like us, we have the solar running, but we have grid in. Okay. That from time to time adds up a bit power to power our batteries, because sometimes we're in Hamatan, there's dust on our panels and things like that. And even when there's fluctuations or lights goes off, all that, does that mean that you have alternative, does one take care of the other? So the engineering part of it is that you design a system that constantly monitors the inflow of power from the grid. And what happens is that when the voltage, the Germans call it Stromschwankung, when the voltage falls, your inverter, which is monitoring it, can make it up, or an AVR can make it up. But at the same time, when the power goes off completely, the inverter that is sensitive, within milliseconds, it will take up and supply you power from a battery or your solar without even you noticing that ECG or grid is gone off. You know, so that is the way we design our system.
That's very convenient.
Other people, many of the houses, you know, because people here, there hasn't been a very good institution training people about solar energy. People who are electricians, they go and put something called changeover.
Yeah, that's a common thing. We all know changeover. Yeah.
So it is raining, your changeover is outside. And your generator is outside, the light goes off, then you have to wake up and go and turn the generator on. Imagine the inconvenience, then turn the changeover on. So we have inverter systems that take that burden away from you. Just monitoring the power system.
And automatically.
Precisely, yeah. So that's how it works.
I love this. I really love this.
Yes, thank you.
I think the best part of it for me is correcting the perception that it is that very wealthy man who uses solar. Because if we can start basic, then everybody can just go for 1 panel, 2, and then you go gradually, and then, yeah. And
I'll tell you what, Leslie, if I was able to pull our database for you, over thousands of people who have bought things from us, the majority of them are not the wealthy people.
Wow.
Yes. I mean, the big ticket 100,000.
It's about knowledge, right?
The big ticket 100,000, whatever thousand price tags are still sitting there. It is people with 10,000, 8,000, 5,000, those kind of it, that actually see the need and then they acquire it. Because by and large, these are people who also want to save money.
Of course.
Yeah. We have a lot of, excuse me to say, highly educated people, professors, and we have had professors in our this thing who are unfortunately illiterate about solar.
Completely ignorant about
ignorant,
it.
You know, I put it that way. Why do I say that? You know, you get, like I said earlier, someone with a number of air conditions and all those kind of things. You would want to talk to them about what actually their needs are. Yeah. So that you design a system to suit the need, rather than give them something just because they ask for it to satisfy them.
I like that.
Yeah. If you have 10 air conditioners at home and you have a 50 kVA generator, even when it is running full stream, you are less likely to turn the 10 air conditioners, all of them together. Unless you have maybe 20 guests that you filled up the rooms, right? So why do you want solar to be specified to power 10 air conditioners?
Everything.
There's no point.
Yeah.
Tell us, in my living room, in my bedroom, I have this air condition. We make provision for that. We'll even make provision maybe for 1 air condition. Yeah? Because when you are in your living room, you are not in your bedroom. Okay? And when you are going to your bedroom, you might switch the one in your living room off.
That's true.
So you don't need to want to buy solar to satisfy all of them. Because for us, we'll sell it to you, but you wouldn't buy.
No, and do you need it? No.
Precisely. And you see, diffusion solar is a value. You know, the renewable energy industry in general is a value. It's not, you make money in it, but it also has to be accompanied by a certain value system. Yeah, you want to make a difference. You want to help people. So you shouldn't want to exploit people's ignorance because they have 3, 4 air conditions, give them $1 for that, and then take the money. We want people to actually see the need of what they want to use and then use that, not everything. So if you come to me and say 10 air conditions, I'll tell you, I'll specify for 2 air conditions for you max. Yeah, because I know 100% that if I do 10 air conditioning, you run away.
You can't even afford it.
You tell me, no, are you crazy or what?
But ideally, I mean, a typical home, you don't have people, you could all be in the living room. You don't have people in 10 rooms at the same time.
No.
Air conditions on. Yes. So you're very right.
That's right. If it's television, yes, you know, you can have multiple televisions, but then they don't consume much power, television. So that's not a problem. Okay. So that is how we see how we can use solar to reduce energy. First of all, let's identify your needs clearly. Once we identify that, and then we specify something that would help you reduce your power consumption. I said earlier that in an urban setting, you cannot do away with grid. Because automatically it's passing and you get it connected. So it's not about being independent of grid or solar. And this is very important as well, even for ECG engineers. Because our experience is that most of them think solar is competing with them, but it is not. It's actually complementing their work.
I think it's all about education.
Precisely. So.
Okay, so we hear a lot about people who have solar that are able to have an excess of what they need that can be sold back to ECG. How does that whole thing work?
So, Leslie, that's where I'll come to UK. So in UK, this kind of system is called grid tie system. But before I go to UK, in Ghana we have a Renewable Energy Act. That actually makes provision for something called feed-in tariff, supply to feed-in tariff. In other words, when you generate and you are not using it, it goes to the grid, and the grid is monitoring it and metering it, and this is transparent. You are aware of what you are sending, and they are aware of what they are receiving.
How? Is it on your meter?
Yeah. There is something called an export meter, just like an import meter you have in your house when you take the power from grid.
So you have to attach the export meter.
Exactly. The export meter will tell you what you are exporting. Now, this provision is there in Ghana, but we're not able to implement it because even the utility companies, they can't pay their own bills, let alone pay, pay us or pay you. In fact, pay you. Say you are here now. If you had solar on your roof at home, you're obviously not running it. You are not using the power. The washing machine is not on. Maybe only fridge is
There's nobody at home.
Precisely. So, and the sun is shining. So whatever you are generating would have been going to the grid, and you would have been entitled to be paid for it. For whatever you send to them. Even if they pay you at a discount. So if they say a unit they sell to you normally as a grid is 11 pesos, and they pay you 8 or 7 pesos, it's still worth it.
Revenue.
You understand? So in UK, that is happening. In Western Europe generally, that's happening. In my home in UK, I have a small, tiny solar system, only 1.2 kilowatt system, which I installed in 2012. And I get about £1,000, £1,000 every year from the national grid for the power I send. But at the same time, I'm using the power. Why do they do that? They do that because we have, you know, recently we were in Glasgow for climate change and all those kind of things, you know. We want to reduce,
encourage it.
Precisely, we want to reduce global warming and all those. So we want to reduce how much fossil fuel is being burned, how much we burn oil or burn wood and cut down trees. So they want to encourage that. They say, okay, if you put solar panels, renewable energy on your roof, and it is giving you power, what it is doing is that the moment the light turns on, a generator somewhere that would have burned fossil fuel will be off because it won't burn oil or gas or anything. So because you've done that, and that generator is off and therefore not emitting carbon dioxide, will compensate you. That's the concept.
Very simple.
So I get that money in UK, and we have 10 kilowatt here. But I don't get anything.
Compared to that 1.2,
precisely,
you'd have made so much.
Yes. And when we installed it, we actually did it the grid tie. Outside here, you see two 10 kilowatt inverters. And it was and there's a 3-phase meter here. I tell you what, this is crazy. I mean, we put it in, and then I went and got the meter. We wanted to do good. I mean, we are not using much power here.
So
we wanted to just even give to ECG for free. Guess what? Whenever we generated, and it goes through ECG's meter, their meter actually was charging us for our own generation.
How is that possible?
Because the meter they put there did not have the capacity to read the power as export. It was reading it as import.
And so sending you bills for your own.
Precisely, and we were like, what? In a month? We're paying so much money. Yeah. And you go and tell them, look, this is what's going on. No, they don't want to listen. I mean, they just are uninterested. Yeah. Wow. So we have to take it off. But the Energy
Commission has room for that.
We have done a lot of work with Energy Commission. In fact, when they started a pilot called net metering, we actually installed those net metering for customers. And the concept is that you put that meter. It's similar to export meter, but it's just one meter. One that sees you importing and another that sees you exporting. So that at the end of the day, they net out.
The differential.
So we did that for a few, and Energy Commission was very supportive for that.
Okay.
Now, but the implementation from ECG, the utility side, has not been quite encouraging. They did say they will do that, and we're hoping that they will.
I hope they do. Yeah. Because that would really encourage a lot of people. And we already have too much load.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So if the load shedding problem is going to be solved or be, supported in any way by this, then I think they should look at it.
They will.
It's a good option.
We belong to Association of Ghana Industries, which has a renewable energy working group.
Okay.
And we're working with them. I mean, in this industry, for people to embrace it, you need really to educate them. There are well-trained electricians, engineers, who still think that it has to operate the way they learned, which is not the case. So that is the thing.
It's not very easy. But you mentioned something about training. The SUKA focus on trainings and all that.
We train. We have a lot of people from time to time that come to us for apprenticeships, or what do you call that? I forgot the name. When they go to university and then they want to come.
Internships.
Internships, yeah. And they get a lot of training. They get hands-on, actually, training. You know, we have one of our engineers, Samuel. He takes people around, and then when they're doing installation, he also teaches them how to do it. So we do training. We also had the occasion to train a few women. So we have a woman in renewable energy.
That's great. You know, that's a priority. we love the idea of women here.
It's a deficit. That is the biggest deficit in the industry. I mean, one of our ladies here, Trudy, she accompanied a team to go to, I think, Pokwasi or somewhere to fix something. And the feedback I got was that when the customer saw that it was a lady engineer that came with a spanner, and he was so exhilarated, so pleased, so happy.
Yeah.
I mean,
because you hardly see it.
You see that. So we can have that. We can do more of that. It shouldn't be SUKA alone that does that. I mean, all the companies involved in renewable energy, or solar in particular, should encourage that, should actually be doing that. So we get our sisters into the industry. The good thing is that women can also sell better. If we train more women to get involved in it, we'll do much better than we're doing now. You know, so that's how I see it. And we try to do, you know, our little bit to grow the industry.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you so much on your support for the women in there. But what kind of women do you support? Do you support people who have been in university and studied engineering, or you pick, I mean, the younger ones? And what kind of people do you train?
People don't need to have an engineering background to come for a training. You know, we'll give them, first of all, a hands-on understanding. We have a lot of study manuals that are very well designed, easy to understand. It was sponsored by UNESCO, so it's very, very good. So when they come, first of all, we introduce them to the different components of everything and let them take notes. They understand what's going on. So a bit of practical before we introduce the theory into it. What to do, what should not do, what's the safety things. So you don't need to be an engineer, you know, and there are people here who can mount the roof and put things together, and they've never been into an engineering class. So nice. Sisters and young ladies there, if you are listening, you're most welcome to join us.
How do they apply? How can they come to you?
There is our website for the women in renewable energy website. There is a form to complete. WIRE, W-I-R-E, WIRE.
W-I-R-E. Women in renewable energy.
So wire.org.gh. You can put that information there, or even contact SUKA directly in our website, suka.com.gh. And then we will then kind of filter and see that there are various levels. As I said at the beginning, why did I leave accounting to go into renewable energy? It's the passion. So if you don't have the passion,
you can't succeed at it.
We can help people develop the passion when they come in, and we talk to them about the potentials this involves, the value chain that is in renewable energy in general. Some will stay and do it. Some, maybe after a while, they will go. But the important thing is that the discipline and the knowledge, they will go with it, and they will know, if nothing at all, energy efficiency mindset will remain with them. So that's good.
Thank you. Thank you. Raji, I'm so grateful for your time on Energy Quest today, because I have personally learned so much, and I'm sure that our viewers have also taken so much from you. I mean, there's so much misconception on solar and renewable energy altogether. So from this conversation, I've learned a great deal that everybody can use solar energy. You can start from the most basic level, power your bulbs, power your lights, and gradually we can graduate. So this has been very good. We've also learnt about the DC appliances. So we would consider that in our construction, and then we can look at getting all these appliances, which will go a long way to help us and save our pockets in this kind of economy that we are in at this time. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome, Leslie. Thank you for coming. And
thank you too.
I hope that viewers will consider that solar, in fact, can really fully save them money. You know, as I said, you don't have to replace grid power or ECG with solar. Just take a bit. That will take a fraction of your power consumption out of the grid, and then begin to save on that. When you begin to enjoy it, you can add and add and add. You don't need to start big. This is our motto. You don't need to start big. Just start somewhere.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This is what we do on Energy Quest. We demystify the energy sector and add value. Till we meet again. Ciao.